Set, go.
Welcome to our film project. This is Beyond Infinity, Buzz Lightyear's Mental Odyssey. I'm Josh Rios,
I'm Lauwenda Telcide.
And I'm Guy.
and I'll go ahead and set the stage. Imagine a world where toys come to life when free from human eyes, taking on an imaginative existence reminiscent of the figurative life breathed into toys by the kids who play with them. In this world called Toy Story, my second favorite character, Buzz Lightyear, serves as a Space Ranger shaped canvas in which the line between imagination and clinical delusional disorder is explored. And Guy, you want to touch more on delusional disorders?
Yeah, of course, man. So throughout this video, first things I want to do is actually set the stage so we can understand what is going to be talked about. So first things first is understanding what is a delusional disorder. In broader terms, it's a mental illness marked by delusions and strongly held false beliefs that resist reason or contrary evidence. This disorder is portrayed in many ways, and this will be unfolded through some evident clips that we're going to share here with you guys, as well as understanding that this disorder is not prominent by hallucinations, but there are many beliefs that aren't explained as well by culture or religion norms. So to get to the meat and potatoes of this idea is also as well, I want to get you guys kind of in the right mindset to understand what we want to talk about is this idea of clinical delusion disorder versus childlike imagination. So in this world that we're currently exploring, it's a realm of childhood fantasy where toys actually come to life. So we witness Buzz's journeys and his grandiose belief that he is a space ranger, but all of this is portrayed in a child's mind. So is it actual clinical delusion? So throughout this video, keep that in mind. So Lauwenda, if you want to start us off here by actually explaining or showing to us what sort of belief does Buzz have as he's a space ranger?
So when we get into this next clip, we can see that Buzz really firmly stands on the idea that he's a space ranger. He gazes at the moon and he's just basically looking back to where home is in a way, since he's said to be sent by Star Command. And this grandiose delusion is where he sets himself as this heroic and important figure and totally disregards the fact that he is a toy, as Woody tries to tell him. If you can tell us more about that, Josh.
Absolutely. And just as firmly as Buzz believes, like Lawanda said, that he's this heroic figure, he's willing to defend that, which is another symptom of delusional disorder, a willingness to defend their delusion. And we can see that when Woody, who is aware of his existence as a toy, I guess kind of threatens that reality that Buzz has, Buzz is very, I guess, defensive, aggressive as far as he stands by what he believes in, which and he believes that he's a space ranger. This scene in particular is an example of that conflict, and it really goes to show how firmly Buzz believes in his delusion and how deeply it's rooted in his identity. And we see that when that's shaken, we'll see that in the next clip.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, in this clip, just adding on to what Josh said, this is after he sees a commercial of his toy brand. And as soon as that becomes sort of the reality and he understands that he is actually a toy, he almost goes delusional. Um, it's very common for these people or for people who are going through this disorder to struggle this sort of reality. And Buzz is just merely a child's toy, and he cannot seem to actually want to understand it, as he believes that this is not something that he's supposed to be going through since he is a Space Ranger. So in the next clip as well, we're actually going to go through some of the treatments and be prepared because this is going to have some audio, and then Josh will actually be running us through what sort of treatments would you potentially expect from people that are going through this disorder.
First time I am thinking clearly. But right all along, I'm not a space ranger. Just a toy, a stupid, little, insignificant toy. Whoa, hey, wait a minute. Being a toy is a lot better than being a space ranger. No, it is. Everybody else is a kid. It's not because you're a space ranger, pal. It's because you're a toy. You
As we see in the clip, Buzz comes to grips with his identity, finally, and unpacks the emotions that follow. Woody is there to listen and support Buzz, helping him realize the fulfillment that comes with being a toy, and that he doesn't need to be a space ranger to be a hero. Their conversation is talk therapy, and not only is it the most effective treatment for Buzz, it's the only feasible one, seeing as he's a toy and doesn't have access to human healthcare. And if you've watched the movie, you know that after this scene, Buzz takes a turn for the better and he fully embraces his identity as a toy, and that makes the rest of the movie makes a happy ending.
So all in all, in terms of broader perspectives, we can indeed see that this contextualizes delusional disorder as a whole. As said in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, it says that someone shouldn't be engaging in any substances that support the diagnosis of this delusional disorder, which we can see that Buzz, it's pure just thought. Like, he definitely thinks he's a space ranger. And we see this through multiple clips of him being all grandiose, looking at the moon, and then later falling into a depressive state because he shakes his ego or thought so greatly and he cosplays Miss Nesbit. But in film, we tend to get attached to characters given their authenticity and our ability to associate them with certain traits, like we do Buzz, with this imaginative, irrational, and overconsumed person who thinks he's an astronaut. And since we attach Buzz with these characteristics, we can attach these characteristics to delusional disorder and create a perceived definition of what we think this disorder entails based on Buzz's expression of delusional disorder.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening to us. If you guys want to say bye before we head out.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Cool. Y'all have a good one, man. Awesome.
What's our timing?